If you've completed all the requirements, you can start the final quest in Assassin's Creed Shadows. This time, you'll face a very challenging encounter with the Templar Order. The Black Tides quest begins in the KII region near Yuasa. When you arrive at the location, you'll see a bearded man telling various stories to some children. Meet Sir Eamon Hathaway, one of your toughest opponents in the game. He knows a lot about Naoe and Yasuke and promises to punish them if they get in his way. It's time to check the quest board. A new quest and 2 objectives appear here. At the top is Eamon Hathaway, and at the bottom is an as-yet unknown enemy. Next, you need to talk to the Drunken Captain. I've shown you where to find him. You'll need to go inside the building to find this captain. He's drinking heavily, and Yasuke agrees to play a game with him. If you don't guess correctly, you have to take a drink. It seems like Yasuke is deliberately trying not to guess correctly. I chose the top answer twice, it's wrong, and the third time, the correct answer will be at the bottom. Naoe looks on rather skeptically from behind. It turns out that Yasuke has had quite a bit to drink, so to get the answers Naoe needs, he'll have to defeat Captain Yang. You'll handle this with ease. Although he can land some nasty hits at times, this opponent won't pose much of a problem for you. Use your skills and a well-chosen build to quickly finish this fight. Now Captain Yang agrees to reveal what the Templar Order is looking for there. But as soon as he starts to speak, he's struck in the head by an arrow fired by a mysterious masked figure. The quick-witted Naoe manages to wound the assailant by throwing a kunai at her, and the unknown enemy leaves a trail of blood behind. Your next task is to track the enemy's escape route by following the blood trail. Use Investigate to see the blue markers that will show you the way you need to run. You can also just follow the path I'm showing you in fast forward to keep this video from dragging on. It's going to be long enough as it is, since this adventure is quite challenging overall. In some places, you'll need to find not only blood trails, but also the bodies of people the fugitive left behind. It seems like a very agile and incredibly strong person. Along the way, the guards don't like seeing me running around here, and they try to stop me, but I just ignore them. My main target is somewhere ahead, and I need to find her. The final goal of this chase is near. In the yard, you'll see a frightened child. The thief you're chasing has taken a local man, the child's father, hostage. After a brief exchange, the thief attacks the man, and you and Yasuke will have to end the chase to save him and calm the child down. Let's take a look at the mission board. Your next mission is Investigate the Wreckage. It's located on the east coast. I've marked the spot for you on the map. When you get there, you'll see a small group of bandits on the shore. You need to take them out. It won't be difficult. The enemies are weak, and you'll handle them easily. Next, you'll find a key on the shore. It's the key to a chest containing Eamon Hathaway's documents. To figure out what they're looking for, you'll need to find some clues. That's why Naoe, as the most agile member of the group, and the one who can dive, will swim out to explore the wreckage. The first chest you should open is on the upper deck. In this chest, you'll find quite a few coins that'll come in handy. All the other chests are underwater. Use the Investigate skill to see the blue markers that will show you where the chests are. There are a few chests here, but they don't contain anything of interest. Just a few resources, and that's it. Your main chest is hidden behind some underwater rocks. You'll need to dive quite deep to find this chest and retrieve all the necessary documents. Meanwhile, events are unfolding very rapidly. Yasuke finds a document with glyphs, but immediately afterward, the thief who killed Captain Yang appears at the scene. You need to defeat this opponent. Here, you'll meet her and learn that her name is Nirmala. The battle is very difficult. It's really tough. Nirmala is very fast and dodges all of Yasuke's attacks. I usually use the Naginata for Yasuke, but in this fight, that weapon is too slow. To defeat Nirmala, I use the exotic katana of Venom. This weapon has a nice poison bonus. Also, with this weapon, the Power Dash ability lets you deal damage to the enemy. It's a fast ability. I've maxed out this ability, which gives me 2 dashes, but actually, it's best not to max it out so that you only have 1 dash. That way, you deal damage and can land a few basic attacks, while the enemy is weakened to replenish your adrenaline chunk and apply poison. If Power Dash performs 2 dashes, one of them is bound to miss the target. All of Nirmala's attacks are red, and you can't block any of them. You can only dodge. This tactic works better for Naoe, so this fight will be really tough. I also wear gear that restores 1 adrenaline chunk whenever I use a food item. This lets me attack more often with the power dash ability. I also try to land 1 or 2 katana strikes and then retreat. This poisons the enemy and gives me the chance to finish the fight. When Nirmala has about 30% of her health left, you'll see a cutscene. At first, everything goes well. Yasuke successfully parries Nirmala's attack and grabs her by the throat, lifting her off the ground. At this point, it seems like the enemy will be defeated, but no. Next, a truly unexpected plot twist awaits you. Eamon Hathaway joins the fight, and now Yasuke has to defeat both of them at the same time. Considering that you've used up your health replenishment supply and are exhausted from the grueling battle, this is an impossible task. At first, I thought it was a joke, especially since Nirmala fully restores her health. While Naoe is out there swimming around looking for chests, Yasuke is facing 2 formidable opponents. You can start this fight quite aggressively and skillfully, but there really is no chance of winning. Eamon Hathaway parries all your strikes. The ones that do land on your opponent don't seem to do them any harm at all. And it's at this point that I realize everything is leading to a planned defeat. Then comes a terrifying scene. Watching Nirmala and Eamon Hathaway tear Yasuke apart together, I couldn't quite wrap my head around it. Is this really the end? What would have to happen for Yasuke to survive this fight? Especially since I can see the opponents landing blows that are fatal. No way. I don't believe it. Does the game's ending really lead to Yasuke's death? Just moments before Yasuke's death, Eamon Hathaway plans to do it, but Nirmala talks him out of it. She argues that Yasuke has suffered severe injuries and won't survive. But at the same time, Naoe is about to arrive, and she won't pursue them because she'll be trying to save her comrade. Eamon Hathaway agrees. That's exactly what happens next. Naoe appears and most likely saves Yasuke. But we're shown an unusual and intriguing sequence in which Yasuke revisits key moments of his life. This is a common concept, the idea that your entire life flashes before your eyes as you die. Yasuke sees how his mother died. Next, he sees the scene of his meeting with Oda Nobunaga, who made him a samurai. The next scene features his new family, or rather, friends who became family, Naoe and Jinjiro. Next, Yasuke will fight for his life. You'll need to defeat Shadow Yasuke. This is a shadow that has similar abilities to your character. The fight isn't actually that difficult. Given how challenging the battle with Nirmala was, I was expecting another tough fight. The tricky part is that you'll enter the battle against Shadow Yasuke wearing the same gear you had at the end of the Eamon Hathaway storyline. If you've used up all your health items, you won't have any here either. If your adrenaline chunk is at 0, the start of the battle against Shadow Yasuke won't give you a refill either. That's exactly why the fight might seem difficult. In fact, I really wasn't expecting another battle here, so I wasn't prepared for it. Still reeling from the fact that Yasuke had nearly died, I struggled through this fight and defeated my opponent just moments before my own defeat. Such is the irony of the story. Next, Yasuke and Shadow Yasuke resolve one important detail. Someday, Yasuke will die in battle, but it won't happen today. Next, you'll watch a scene that will explain a lot and reveal plans for the future. First, Yasuke will come to and realize that he's still alive. Next, we'll see 2 characters you've already met if you've completed the Isu door puzzle quest. It turns out that this dangerous pair of Templars is looking for this very cave, and those 2 characters told them where to find it. Then Naoe decides to go there and follow the Templars, while Yasuke asks Rufino to help with this mission. Next, we find ourselves near a cave with mysterious glyphs. Eamon Hathaway and Nirmala go inside, and we follow them. We see Eamon Hathaway push the statue of Cassandra. It shatters, revealing a secret lock on the pedestal. Eamon Hathaway inserts the key he took from Yasuke into the lock, opening the entrance to a new room. It seems things aren't quite as simple as they seem here. Another mysterious place we need to explore. Naoe wants to go after the thieves and stop them. Rufino tries to talk her out of it, since it's very dangerous. But, as you've already realized, we have no choice. We head into the cave, where the final battle of this challenging adventure awaits us a little later. The cave we find ourselves in is full of mysteries, and to reach the end, you'll need to overcome all the obstacles inside it. First, you and Rufino must stand on the plaques with glyphs to unlock the path ahead. That's why 2 characters were needed for this quest. Next, you need to find the platform with the glyph on the left. Use your parkour skills to get there. There's another barrier ahead. Now you need to go around this barrier on the left, and on the other side, also to the left, find another platform with a glyph that will open the barrier and allow Rufino to proceed. Then there are 2 more glyphs, and that completes the first stage of the cave. Ahead, you'll see Nirmala. Your goal is to catch up to her. From now on, you shouldn't step on the glyph-marked tiles. From this point on, they turn into traps. As soon as you get close to Nirmala, she'll move even further away. You'll have to chase her several times, overcoming obstacles along the way. There's nothing complicated about this part, it's all intuitive. Just follow the prompts. The elements you can grab onto are highlighted in bright yellow. Plus, there will almost always be a wall on your side to protect you from Nirmala's shots. So think of this more as a test of your agility. Eventually, you'll reach a transparent yellow bridge that will disappear as soon as you step on it, and you'll fall down. You still have to travel a short distance through this maze before you face off against Nirmala. It's impossible to get lost here. There's only one path. Overcome a few obstacles, and before entering the cave where Nirmala is located, don't forget to restock your supplies. There's a special case at the entrance for this purpose. Next, you'll slide down the slope, where a very difficult battle awaits Naoe. My first attempts to win were hopeless. Then the game started loading the character into a location where Nirmala didn't react immediately to my appearance.
She can't help you.
So my first kunai throw allowed me to take away half of her health. A few more throws, and then you'll need to dodge Nirmala's attacks. Next, from a safe distance, throw 2 to 3 smoke bombs in a row. This will force Nirmala to stop, and you'll be able to deal a lot of damage to her unhindered. When Nirmala has about a third of her health remaining, the second phase of the battle will begin, and Naoe will have to fight 2 opponents at once. Eamon Hathaway and Nirmala, just as Yasuke did earlier. This battle is still challenging for you, but there are some positive aspects. Your tidal wave ability works well against Eamon Hathaway. Also, Nirmala regains her full health bar, but her attacks become less aggressive. In this fight, I only use tidal wave. After that, there are a few seconds when you can land regular attacks on the enemy. He'll be weakened during this time. You need to be very careful here. Keep in mind that Nirmala is nearby and will also be constantly attacking you. As soon as you see her approaching, you need to immediately run as far away as possible. And even though you already have an active ability, the battle is still difficult. Eamon Hathaway also moves quickly and frequently throws projectiles at you. You also need to watch out for Nirmala's attacks. In addition to powerful, fast strikes, she also throws objects at you. As you move around the arena during this battle, avoid the areas with glyphs. As soon as you step onto one of these areas, a trap will activate, dealing a small amount of damage. Ideally, you should use these traps to outmaneuver your opponents. If you step into a trap, immediately jump to the side to escape its effect. These traps don't deal much damage to enemies, but they do stop them in their tracks. This will make your job easier if they're not running together, but are spread out at different distances. This will allow you to attack one of them with the tidal wave ability. I try to attack Eamon Hathaway more often, although sometimes I miss my target and end up attacking Nirmala instead. When your tidal wave ability doesn't work against Nirmala, she doesn't take damage, and you won't see a yellow glow around her silhouette. She'll also actively dodge your attacks to the side. Here, you need to understand that once tidal wave ends, you must dodge immediately. After such a failed attack, you won't be able to land a few simple strikes. Also, don't forget that there are 2 crates placed side by side in the arena. One allows you to fully replenish your food supply once, which restores your health. Use it when your supplies run out. The second crate replenishes your throwing items. Before the battle, it's crucial to learn the passive ability that allows you to replenish your health-restoring food supplies at the same time as you restock your throwing items. You'll really need this in this battle to survive. The damage I'm dealing to my opponent is significantly lower than usual in boss fights, and that surprises me a little. I realize that every now and then I take damage and my health regeneration runs out. That's why the fight feels really challenging. It's impossible to dodge perfectly for very long. Maybe I just need a little more practice, since this is my first time fighting Eamon Hathaway and Nirmala. Up until now, I've lost so many times right at the start of the fight against Nirmala alone, and never made it this far. Overall, I realize I have a chance. I just need more practice to dodge more perfectly and avoid the damage my opponents deal. I was so caught up in the fight that I completely forgot I could use smoke grenades. They're equally effective against both opponents. A single smoke bomb has only a mild effect, but if you use a second one on top of the first, any opponent caught in the area of effect for a few seconds loses their offensive and defensive abilities. During that time, you can deal a lot of damage to them. Now I'm wondering if it's possible to fight all the way to victory, or if there will be a mandatory cutscene somewhere near the end. In my case, I lost this fight and honestly planned to start over from the beginning, but to my surprise, a cutscene featuring Yasuke loaded. Once again, this came as a surprise to me. By the way, during the fight, I kept wondering where my partner Rufino was. Honestly, his help would have been a huge asset in this fight, but he's gone missing and still can't get past the obstacles that Naoe ran through while chasing Nirmala. We've seen something similar in this challenge before, but back then, Yasuke lost his fight. This time, the video shows a scene where Naoe loses the fight and, ready to accept defeat, helplessly closes her eyes, waiting for the final blow. But at that very moment, Yasuke appears and throws Eamon Hathaway far away with a powerful throw. We see that he's still in his hospital gown, but armed. Yasuke arrived just in time to save Naoe. Next, Nirmala plans to finish off Naoe herself. She's probably counting on Eamon Hathaway to be tied up fighting Yasuke, and that might have worked, but Rufino finally appears on the battlefield and, with a well-aimed shot, prevents Nirmala from carrying out her plan. While Nirmala threatens Rufino, saying she'll deal with him next, Naoe finally comes to his senses and, seizing the moment, ends this scene with a hidden blow to the neck. Nirmala is dead. Eamon Hathaway is very disappointed and yells at Naoe, asking what he's done. I wonder what this old man was counting on when he attacked our heroes. Did he really think that, after everything that had happened, anyone would fight them fairly? This is a battle for survival, and the strongest wins here. Then everything changes drastically again. Eamon Hathaway is left alone against the wounded but still alive Naoe and Yasuke. Eamon Hathaway puts on his helmet, preparing for a tough battle. You'll now be playing as Yasuke, but alongside Naoe. Now the enemy is facing two opponents alone, and in reality, he doesn't stand a chance. Even though Yasuke is wearing hospital clothes, he moves quite quickly and uses his skills with ease. Meanwhile, Naoe is a huge help in this fight. She often knocks Eamon Hathaway off his feet. He falls to the ground and stays there for a while. This is the perfect moment to run up and land a powerful blow on the target on the ground. Such an attack deals a lot of damage to the opponent. Also, quite often, Naoe holds the opponent in place, leaving him helpless. Yasuke can deal a lot of damage at that moment. Overall, the fight will end very quickly with a victory. Eamon Hathaway is doomed to defeat. After that, there's a fairly long cutscene where Naoe and Yasuke find a mysterious cube inside the cave. I've decided not to reveal these details here. If you complete this challenge, you'll see everything for yourself. There are a lot of hints, and the future of our characters is actually unclear, so everyone has to decide for themselves how to interpret the game's ending. This brings Naoe and Yasuke's thrilling journey to a close. There are still many elements of the game to explore, but the main storyline is complete, and I really hope we'll see these two characters, if not in DLC, then at least as supporting characters in future installments of Assassin's Creed. If you found this video useful, please like it and subscribe to the channel. I also recommend watching my other videos on Assassin's Creed Shadows, where I explain many interesting things. I'm sure you will find a lot of interesting stuff there. See you soon, my friend, and take care.